Hi there everyone, and welcome to this week's live stream GuitarQuest lesson. So we will be continuing with GuitarQuest 4 as we have been for the last few weeks now. So before we get started, please, whatever device you're on, if you've got any notifications that might ping away, then please do turn them off. And if you, that's that bit. If there's any children in the room, I would suggest having an adult just to help explain a few bits and pieces if needed. And otherwise, we have the chat function. So if you've got any questions as we're going along, please do ask away. That is just there for you to make use of. You do have to have subscribed to the channel to be able to ask those. So please do take advantage of that. And so we're going to get started. We're just going to check our tuning as we always do. Let's move around a little bit there. So, okay, this is our 6th string. This is our bottom E. So we want to make sure you're sounding the same as this. And then we're going to tune it by ear in a second. Okay, so hopefully you're in tune with that. If you've been following the last few weeks, you know we've been tuning this by ear, so hopefully this is becoming reasonably familiar now. So I'll just start to go a little bit faster. But we know bottom E is in tune, so we go to the 5th fret, which is our A, and then our open 5th string should sound the same as that. So we just kind of play it, compare it, adjust the 5th string until it sounds the same. Then when you're happy with that, you go to the 5th string 5th fret for your D, play that note, compare it to the open 4th, and again adjust the D until it sounds the same. And then when you're happy with that, you'd go to the 4th string 5th fret, which is the G, and you play that, compare that to your open 3rd string, and adjust the 3rd string until it sounds the same as your 4th string 5th fret. Then when you're happy with that, we'll go to the 3rd string 4th fret, which is the note B. So you play that note and compare the 2nd string to it, and adjust that 2nd string until they sound the same. And then go to the 2nd string 5th fret, and that's your note E. And so you play that and compare the top E, and adjust away until it sounds the same as your 2nd string 5th fret. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So in theory, the guitar would be in tune. We're just doing this really because it's very easy to be very reliant on digital tuners. So we're just kind of covering the bass or the eventuality, which you probably will face at some point if you continue playing guitar, that your tuner won't be to hand, you've forgotten it, it's run out of batteries, whatever it is, but you can hopefully still tune up by ear. So once we've done that, we're just going to strum a few chords, make sure they're all good. So let's start off with the G, and as you strum it, just try and listen out for it. Does it sound okay? Does it sound like anything's a bit off or not? And if it does, then just go back and double check your tuning. And you just want to kind of keep doing it in a sort of iterative kind of way, really. So let's try a D chord and just see how that goes. And how about an E major and an A major to finish with. So again, just keep listening, keep kind of analysing. It'll just help improve how your ears are hearing things and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's our tuning. So hopefully we're all good with that now. And what we're going to do, just as a quick reminder, is just try not to let that guitar slide away. If you do, you're going to have to work a little bit harder with the left hand. So we want to try and keep this guitar nice and upright. I do appreciate there's a bit of a trade-off when it's early days and stuff, so just try not to let it do that. The other one is try not to slouch back in the chair like that, because that is equally not great for guitar playing. It might look cool when you see it done on videos and things, with bands and stuff, but when they're playing in the studio, they will not be playing like that, I can guarantee that. So I've just seen a comment there from someone saying, take me to church fingerstyle. So, Take Me to Church is, I can't remember who did that song now. That could be something we might consider at some point. Typically what we do in these lessons is work our way through the GuitarQuest books. But we do drop in more famous tunes and things every now and again as well. So I'll take that on board and see if it seems like an appropriate one to sort of put into the mix, depending on the technical level that it's at. So okay, so let's give it a go. In terms of give it a go. We're going to do a warm up. So what we did the last few weeks was this sort of thing on the first string. So we play crotchets on frets, well, the open string, and then frets 1, 2, 3. So we go open, first, second, third. Then we play quavers, so we basically double the time, go 1 and 2 and repeat it. So we play that one twice. And then we are going to do a semiquavers. So you play it 4 times at this kind of speed. Cool. Okay, so let's try it together. Okay, so I'll count us in. So after 4, here we go. Okay, so 3, 4, and open, first, second, third, quavers, and again, and semi-quavers. Okay. So that's a good warm up. We're going to try it on the second string now, but we're going to go the other way. So we go frets 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. So after 4 again, here we go. Okay, so 3, 4, and third, second, first, open, quavers, again, and semi-quavers. Okay, cool. So that's just a simple little warm up. You can do that across whatever strings you like, any frets you like as well. Just helps coordinate left and right hand, which obviously is very important when you're playing guitar. So let's move on. One of the tunes we worked on over the last few weeks was number 9 from GuitarQuest 4. It's called Floating By. We went over this in quite a lot of detail 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we're just going to have a play through it today, make sure it's all more or less okay. If you want more detail about how to play it, then just go and check out the lesson from 2 or 3 weeks back, and there's a lot more content, or I talk a lot more about it in that one. So yeah, we'll have a go at it. A couple of things just to watch out for though. We've got 2 sharps in our key signature, so F sharp and C sharp. Which you may remember, because I've sort of talked about this quite a few times, I think, over the last few weeks and so on. When you've got 2 sharps, you are going to play in the second position typically. So that means our first finger is going to line up at the 2nd fret. So that's the first thing. So obviously watching out for the sharps, we're going to play in the 2nd position. The note B that crops up, we're actually going to get 3rd string 4th fret rather than as the open 2nd string. Just for the kind of challenge of it really, and then there's lots of hammer-ons and pull-offs and things as well, so it's quite a lot of content in there, but hopefully if you've been practicing it over the last couple of weeks, hopefully you'll be alright with it. So let's give it a go. Okay, so we're in 6/8 timing, so I'm going to count us in. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we start. Okay, so good luck everybody, nice and slow, here we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So I said let's take that nice and slow, and then I actually set off faster than I intended. So let's try it again, but this time a bit slower. Okay, so apologies if that was too quick, but here we go. Let's try one more time. Okay, so after 6, okay, so 4, 5, 6. Beginning. So coda. Okie dokie. So that was exercise 9, floating by. As I say, we've covered it for the last couple of weeks, so hopefully you can play along that time at the slower tempo, or hopefully the faster tempo as well. So if you did, give yourself a pat on the back. Always good to acknowledge the wins. And so yeah, we are going to move on to exercise 10, sunken blues. So again, we talked about this one in a fair amount of detail last week, so we will go over it again today in reasonable detail, probably not quite as detailed as last week though. So again, just check that video out if you find you struggle with this one at all. So exercises 10, 11 and 12 are going to form a trilogy of blues tunes we're going to work on, so they can all be played at the same time. And actually I put a YouTube short out this week which shows me playing each of the 3 ones. So you've got 3, in the same video, 3 sort of snippets of me playing exercises 10, 11 and 12, so you can sort of see how they all come together. So the plan is to go over exercise 10 today and then get stuck into number 11 as well. So yeah, looking at number 10, Sunken Blues. Again, we're in, well, the key of, I say the key of D. We've got 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp, but actually our key is kind of more of an E kind of thing. So yeah, with this particular one, although we've got the 2 sharps, we don't necessarily need to play in the second position. And I think I talked about that last week. We're going to stay in the first position just because it's more of an E-based kind of song, really. So when I say E-based, I mean the root chord is more of an E chord. So it's worth sort of positioning ourselves around that chord shape. So, okay, so when we start, we've got the bottom E, top E, open B, and then we're going to go D at the 3rd fret, open E again, and then we've got A to G as a pull-off, and then E 4th string 2nd. So those 2 bars, and then that's how they should sound, and the next 2 start off the same. Then we've got this bit here. That's where it's a little bit different. So you've got a hammer on, and that's 4 and 5, 6 in terms of the timing. Okay, so the next line we start on the A, same kind of thing. So A, E, E, B, D, E, same thing as before, and then we're going to go A to G, A to G, E, 4th string 2nd. So just want to play those ideally as pull-offs, so A to G and then again. And what you want to try and watch out for is that as you play them, you get this nice kind of, nice steady flow to it, and not kind of, not a sort of jumpy kind of thing, which is very easy to do with pull-offs. So yeah, just try and watch out for that. And in terms of the timing, that's going to be 4 and 5 and 6. Okay. So that's bars 5 and 6. So the next 2 bars, we're back to the same kind of idea again, starting on the bottom E. And then at the end of this bar, we've got a similar kind of idea to what we had in bar 6, but we're doing hammer-ons on the 4th string. So D to E, and again, and then open G. And again, with the hammer-ons, very easy to go that kind of thing, rather than nice and steady, or if you're counting it 4 and 5 and that's one thing just to watch out for. Okay, and then as we come on to the last line, we've got the A. That's a dotted crotchet, so that's worth 3 of our count of 6, but it's also tied over to a quaver, which is beat 4. So that one's actually worth 4 of our count of 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then bar 10, 1, 2, 3, nothing on beat 4, and then the pull off, 5 and 6. So we got down a bit. Cool, so hopefully that's making sense. And then bar 11, bottom E, top E, then we're going to go D, C sharp, C, B, A, B. Okay, so that's bars 10 and 11. And then in theory, we repeat, and I say in theory, we will do that today. Then we go all the way through it, and then eventually at the end, we just finish on E, 4th string, 2nd fret. Okay, so let's give it a go. We'll play it all the way through. So as I say, we talked about this one last week, so hopefully if you've had time to practice, this should come together, in theory. That's what should happen. So let's see how we get on. Please do fire away in the comments, let me know how it goes. But yeah, we'll take it nice and slow, okay? So after 6, good luck everybody, here we go. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back to the beginning. Last line. Finish on the E, 4th string, 2nd fret. Good stuff. Okay, so hopefully that went well, and if it did, obviously give yourself the pat on the back as always, and let me know how it went. We could go slower if you want, or we could go quicker if you're finding it quite easy, but I'll leave it there unless any comments appear. In terms of practice and stuff, remember that the backing track is available on my YouTube channel, so you can go and find that. If you go onto the home page, a little way down, there's the GuitarQuest 4 lessons, and there's a playlist in that section for the backing tracks. So just go on there, find number 10, and then you can speed it up or slow it down on YouTube, sort of as you need to, really. So okay, but we're going to move on. So the top of page 9, we've got the B7 chord. So B7 is a very common chord in guitar playing. It's very closely related to, or not close, perhaps not the right way of describing it, but if you're playing in the key of E, then B7 often sort of crops up in that key, and because E is perhaps the most common chord on the guitar, it's the deepest chord we can play, so knowing the B7 is going to be a really important chord for you to know. It also goes really well with E minor, so yeah, definitely one to have a go at. So in terms of the B7 itself, then we're going to put our middle finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, that's the note B, that's our root note. Then our first finger goes 4th string, 1st fret. Third finger goes 3rd string, 2nd fret on the A. We're going to have an open 2nd string, which is the B, and we're going to add the pinky finger to the 1st string at the 2nd fret. So you've got fingers 2, 3 and 4 all at the 2nd fret there. so it's only the first finger that isn't. And when we strum, we're going to try and avoid that 6th string. So you go from the 5th, and you should get that kind of sound. I found teaching B7 that it's one of those chords that people often find a little bit fiddly to get the fingers in place, but actually once they're in place, you can usually get the chord to sound quite good pretty quickly. Unlike an F, where maybe it's not that hard to get the fingers in place, but it's quite hard to get the sound out. You know, and you kind of get that sort of thing quite a lot. B7, hopefully, you'll find it reasonably okay in terms of getting the sound out. So, so yeah, that's a really good one to know. And the other, well, in exercise 11, part of this chord is going to come up. So, what's quite a common variation on the B7 chord is actually not to bother putting the pinky down. I would practice it with the pinky finger so that you're in control of it. So if you don't want it, you know, that sort of that kind of sound, you know, then you can do it. But equally, if you do need it, then obviously if you practiced it, you've got it. You know, it's a lot easier to practice with it and take it off than do it the other way around, is basically what I'm trying to say. So yeah, when we come on to exercise 11, we're going to end up needing those 3 fingers, and we can forget about the pinky. But obviously, if you're feeling confident, you could include that as well. So, okay, so looking at exercise 11, this is a very kind of traditional, standard sort of bluesy thing. So, the way you get that traditional sound is to sort of bounce between, in this key anyway, is to bounce between the 2nd and the 4th frets. Okay, so we start off with the E and the B here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we go up to the 4th fret and do the same again. So, but 4, 5, 6. So 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we do that 4 times. Okay, so that's our 4 bars of our blues progression. So, so I'll just demonstrate. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again. And last time. Okay, so that's the first 4 bars. It's fairly straightforward. So when you're strumming, you just got to try and make sure you only hit the bottom 2 strings. So I'm using my thumb. It feels reasonably easy to kind of connect with the strings and, you know, hopefully hit the right ones. Obviously, you could go thumb and index finger. You know, and if you were playing a tune that wanted a slightly more kind of staccato, might be the word you use. So you want the notes to be short and detached and things, and perhaps this kind of. If you wanted to get that kind of sound, then maybe thumb and index finger would be the way to go. But for now, I would suggest just go with the thumb, and you just get those notes ring into each other a bit more. Remember, a lot of this kind of stuff could well have been played with guitarists who use plectrum or a pick, so we're just kind of replicating that with the thumb at this stage. So, okay, so that's the first 4 bars. The next 2 bars, we do exactly the same, but move our finger 1 string to the floor. So you're on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and you go from that one, and then up to the 4th fret, and back again, and we do that twice. And then we go back to the first one again, so the 6th and the 5th strings, and we do that twice. So just to recap, well, I'll play it, first 8 bars. So we've got this where we started, 2nd bar, 3rd bar, that's the 4th, and then we move strings, do it a 2nd time, and then we come back to the first one and play that twice. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. You might not be able to do it just yet, that's absolutely fine, takes a bit of practice, but hopefully the first 8 bars, in principle at least, seem like they should be manageable. So when we go on to the next bar, this is where our B7 is going to drop in. So we're going to, like I say, you could make the full shape if you want with the pinky, but in this instance we're not going to play the first string. So you only really need those 3. So I'll leave it with you as to which option you want to do from a practice perspective. But when we get to this bar, we're going to play the 5th string on beat 1, nothing on 2. Then we're going to play the 4th string on beat 3, and then strings 2 and 3 on beat 4, nothing on 5, and then again we do those 2 again on beat 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, just one more time on that bar. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And then as we go to the next bar, we've got the notes A, E, and G. Similar kind of timing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then bar 11, we're back to our first pattern again. But we're going to stop on that first one at the 4th fret. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then bar 12 is the same as bar 9. Or nearly anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But on that last one, we're not going to play those 2 notes twice, like we did in bar 9. So if I just play the last 4 bars of that, so bars 9 to 12, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's cool. One thing I should have mentioned as well, when we're playing this bit, we do want to get into the 2nd position. I should have mentioned that at the start. You could play fingers 2 and 4, but you're not really going to gain anything by doing that. Our index finger is our strongest finger typically, so there's not really any point in having that out of action, as it were. So yeah, I'd definitely play that in the 2nd position. Okay, so at the end of bar 12, you go back, you play the first 10 bars again, and then as you come to bar 13, it's the same kind of idea. And bar 14, we come to the B7 shape. And if you wanted to include the first finger on the first string, the pinky finger on the first string 2nd fret, you could do. That would sound nice. And then finally, in bar 15, we just finish on the bottom E, on the E chord. So hopefully you remember the E, 3rd string 1st fret with the 1st finger, 4th string 2nd fret with the 3rd finger, and 5th string 2nd fret with the middle finger. Okay, so let's have a go, see if we can play through this the whole way. We'll take it nice and slow. So just give it a go. Good luck, and let's see how we get on. Okay, so after 6, here we go. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do it again. Again for the 3rd time. 4th. We're going to move 1 string to the floor. Back, do it a 2nd time, then to B7, and then A bit, B7 again, back to the beginning, and again, and 4th time, and then to the other string, and back to the first one. Got the B7 coming up, bar 10, last line, B7, and then finish on an E. Okay, cool. So that's part of the accompaniment to exercise 10. So let me just put that track on so you can have a listen along. So if I bring the music up onto the screen, exercise 11. Okay, here we go. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, cool. So if you obviously have practiced along exercise 10, then you'll hear that obviously they're pretty much the backing tracks, I mean, are pretty much the same. All I've done on exercise 11 is raise the level of that particular one, so you can hear this kind of thing a little bit more prominently. Whereas if you listen to the demo track of exercise 10, that tune is sitting a little bit louder. So it's just difference in mix levels, really. That's probably a good place for us to finish up, I think, for today. Obviously, if you've got any questions, please do fire away. I think that one might need a little bit more thinking about next week. I think the ideas of what you've got to do is not too bad. Putting them into practice is another thing. And then also we can just talk about a couple of little variations that are worth knowing when you play that kind of style. So if you decide you want to be a blues guitarist, and this is very basic blues, it's not like advanced stuff or anything like that. So, but there's a couple of little tricks you can chuck in that just raise it a little bit. So we'll talk about them, and you can try and include them as and when you want to, really. So. Cool. Okay, so as I say, let's finish up there. So things to practice this week. So we'll keep doing our sort of chromatic warm-up exercise, and we will play through exercise 10 again next week. Then our main focus will be the B7 chord and exercise 11, and hopefully we'll get onto number 12 as well, which is just the chord strumming that accompanies these two as well. So let's leave it there for today. If you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up. That's always much appreciated. And if you happen to know anybody you think might benefit from these lessons, then please do share that as well. Pass it around. And otherwise, I will see you same sort of time next week. Okay, so very best of luck with the practice, and I will see you soon. All right, take care then, everybody. Bye-bye.